Okay.
Click it now.
Yep.
Okay, I think we are live.
You think so, hey? It looks like it. Welcome, everyone, to Grandstand Golf. This is Adam and Craig. This is our... Oh, now I got feedback from this other one on YouTube. Here we go. Mute that. Yeah, it's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. We've been doing this live show for a few months on Twitch, but we are making the change to YouTube. The people have
The people
spoken,
have spoken.
and we...
So if it's a little bit clunky today, then that's because we are trying to figure out this new software and everything. So bear with us. Let us know if the sound's off or anything like that. Yeah. Anything else?
I also feel like I've completely lost usernames. Fish, Steeler, Jamaican Warbird, all gone. It's gonna be different names,
Yeah.
so
We'll
I have some
we'll
ideas
adjust. We'll
too, but
adjust.
we'll adjust. Craig, let's.
Yeah, I was gonna.
I think we're 20 minutes away from Eurolock, so if you flip over to the weather.
Oh yeah, yeah.
808, Big Colts fan and Kyle, what is up? Thanks, guys.
Big Colts fan. You just have a place in my heart. I think I told you that earlier. Yeah. So weather in Abu Dhabi, it looks like wind increases at least Thursday. It increases as the day goes on, and it looks like
It looks brutal the rest of the tournament, but the only I think real scoring is Thursday morning. So I think like I went pretty heavy AM guys. Rory's there, JT's there, Bobby Mack is there, Lagergan is there. So yeah,
well, and it looks like if anything, it might start to ease off. I mean, who knows when that easing off will happen on Friday. If that comes a bit early, then that early wave, late wave could get a huge advantage. And then after that, I mean, it looks like the leaders will have to face a bit more on Saturday, and then Sunday looks pretty flat.
I would be interested to know of the people watching right now if you do play just PGA or PGA and Euro or PGA Euro LPGA, a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I play a little bit of everything, although I am not. My Euro exposure is small this week. LPGA I didn't get any in this week, so I'm working on that for next time. But I think probably most people are here to watch, to chat about um,
Craig, which Baptiste is the sharp?
which Baptiste is sharp. I think all of us would say that we. I would say that I am probably, and I think you would say that you are. Um, I would say I'm probably the most analytical.
Yep.
Whether or not that's makes me a sharp. I have yet to have to put money into either FanDuel or Grandstand Golf a second, or sorry, into DraftKings a second time. So if that makes me a sharp, then it's not exactly like I'm buying houses with what I win. Um,
Oh, you're also not putting the house on the line.
I'm also not putting the house on the line. True. Yeah. So I
Yeah, thanks, MD. I've been growing it for a while. It's hiding the skin imperfections like you can see on my forehead. I wish I had a forehead
you
beard.
work on that unibrow a bit. Harry Hall. So I was looking at him as a potential play. I didn't get there myself. I really like him as a young talent. But I had to be a little bit harsh. I already, I have 31 guys I think in my player pool, and so you gotta find places to make those harsh cuts. And yeah, he was one of them for me. What about
So
you? Same thing?
we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. I said to you, Craig, that I think I'm more balanced this week. I only have 6 guys under 7,000. He is one of them, but he's only in one lineup for me. So this is
Oh,
this
so
is
you
a
you
20
you
lineup.
sprinkled with some of those younger guys down low.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much exactly.
Um, but yeah, let's start off at the top.
Cantlay, Rom is out. Patrick Cantlay, I feel like safe floor, high ceiling, almost guaranteed he's going to make the cut. He doesn't really miss that many cuts in the PGA. Can he win and can he build a good lineup with him? I think yes. I have 35%
I've
Cantlay.
got
I'm
25. Did you
overweight.
think about him? You haven't used him for one and done, have you?
No,
Did you think about
I
him?
No,
I thought
actually.
seriously about pulling him this week.
Okay.
It's just one of those ones where like I feel like I'm holding on to so many of these top guys that like there's only so many tournaments you can play them in. But yeah, ultimately I decided to go elsewhere, and I have a good feeling about Cantley this week though. I like him a lot. But yeah, 25%. I do have a couple where I tried to stack Cantley. Like I think I have a Cantley Kepka and a Cantley
Yeah.
Reed.
Same here. Yeah.
But I don't know if I have any where I got three of those guys above 10K in.
So okay, 10K. Are you playing all of them?
Yeah, I've
10K
got
and up.
Cantley, Kepka, Finau, and Reed. And my highest owned
Are
of
you
those guys is Reed.
okay? Who's your lowest?
Lowest is Kepka at 20% still.
Okay, so I've
Zero
kept the
percent
25.
Cantley. I
I've
like it, Kicks. It's aggressive. The thing is though, like I'm totally fine with like full fades on those guys because essentially those guys up there have to like they need to top 10 and that kind of thing for them to be worth what they're what you're paying for them. So if you don't like Cantley, I'm totally fine with that as a at committing to that.
I mean, unless you, I mean, you could have
The thing is, if Cantley
in the
wins, you're
last,
not going to do well.
yeah, like last week if you had Webb, but then you also had Nah
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Chris
yeah,
Kirk and Steele, like you were fine with Webb, but
yeah.
you have to ace the bottom half of your
Well,
lineup.
and he also came tied for third in the end, or
He got in, I think, at 19 or.
I thought he was it 19 or 20?
Are you talking about Webb?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Let us know how Sony was for you guys. I had a great century, and Sony. If you guys listen to the Twitch, I was 50% Morikawa, 50% Henley, who both did decent, and I had one of the worst weeks I've had in DFS.
Yeah, to
I
me
don't
it
know
felt
if
like
it's
it, I
thing.
was it was a little bit snake bit where like my best lineups I had a missed cut on, so that probably was
Yeah,
a little bit the same for you. So yeah, in terms of those top guys though, I'm fine with all of the plays. I do like Reed the most. I spoke about him on the YouTube video. Um, But
probably
I'm just going to
Finau the
pick this
least
one
for
off.
me,
Chris
to be
Ventura,
honest.
he was one of my last cuts. I did cut him. I've got 30, I think 31 guys exactly in my pool, but he was one of my last cuts. And I like him a lot, and he's a good putter, and it's a course that good putters should do well on. It's just a bit of a form, but I think his ownership will be low because he's got what 2 or 3 missed cuts in a row. Um,
Yeah, I got some Ventura. I think the upside's there for sure.
Yeah, so for the last 5, but then you see he had 2 top 10s right before that. So yeah, I like the
The
upside.
start of the season, I mean, the start of the season, I feel like he was high sevens for a tournament or two. Like he was playing really
Hmm.
well. I think a couple top tens.
Nice, I like it,
Should we
pecking.
jump at
9K range?
9K range? So this is interesting. I feel like I'm hearing everybody go Scheffler and Answer,
So I went full
and
fade
that's
on
where you're
Sungjae.
starting.
That's my first full fade. I don't know if you did.
No, I got Sungjae in there.
So I've
Oh, yeah,
I fully
just one.
faded Sungjae, Ricky, and Kevin Na.
So
So
Kevin Na was my
so
fade.
uh,
So
just real quick, that's 20 a 20 max, so that's 20 lineups. And it's one of these, like typically what I'll do is I'll have a range where I have lots of guys. So like for me, it's this week it's the low 7,000s, and so a lot of
yeah,
those guys are like 10% owned. But then I'll have much more concentrated ownership at in the 8Ks and the 9Ks and so on.
I'm a little bit slower because we used to have our chat in the window here. Now it's on a
You got to
different
look
tab,
in
and I
all
got to
these
go
different.
back to my worksheet.
Yeah.
So I'm clicking back to my worksheet and back, but I'm trying to keep up.
Um,
My highest owned here, I like Wolf. I did have quite a bit of Scheffler. I got 25% Scheffler. I just I'm kind of confused with all the love for Answer and Craig. I think Answer's your one
I
and
don't
done.
know
So
why
tell me
you're confused.
why is he so?
So
I don't know.
35% for
Like
me. Um, so he was
yes, I
second
completely agree.
tier
Oh,
last year,
sorry
18th the
about
year
that, Mike T. I
before.
completely agree.
Um,
Scheffler, Answer, Dog, very popular.
like I think he's playing well. Yes, the cut, he missed the cut on the number, so I don't hold too much against him. I think he has decent form. It feels like he could break through at any point. He's a good putter, which I think this, I'm planting my flag on putting mattering. I mean,
Yeah.
not just how people putt this week, but whether they're good putters or not seems to matter at this course. It's sort of like there's these top guys, and then I feel like it's pretty thin from, maybe from Scotty Scheffler through to this low eights for me. So then,
Yeah, the eights is a funny range for sure.
so for me, it's like then I'll like find ways of taking a little bit cheaper elsewhere and plugging in. Like I have Henley, I also have 35%. So I think it just ended up being that from Scheffler to Burns, I have tons of full fades, and so then I had to plug in the guys that I have in that range a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. Peckins, I can't speak for Craig, but right now I do 20 lineups and I hand build 20 lineups. So my percentages, I have what I'm aiming to get to with my player pool and then kind of where I end up. And I hand build them all and
Yeah,
it's worked okay. It's tedious. I think Craig and I just like we only trust ourselves, so we don't use an optimizer unless we build it.
yeah.
So,
Well, and if I was doing 150 for sure, I would. I don't pay for
yeah.
anything, and so at this point I'm just billing them by hand, and typically it'll be either I'll be on my iPad while I'm watching a show or something, or watching something
Yeah.
with my wife and half paying attention, and I'm just building lineups as I go. But yeah, so it's all.
You can, hey, Craig, you can share that you watched The Bachelor, man. It's fine. I watched The Bachelor. You don't have to hide it.
So Mike T, I don't know if it was you who brought up Kazire last week, but I was saying that I'm not playing him last week, and I'm not playing him again this week. So it might bite me again, but and he's a great putter. The model likes him. I don't know why I can't plug him in. His form's good. There's a lot of reasons to like him.
So before we get into the AK range, I really like Wolf's upside. But if he can't hit a fairway this week, I'm worried. But I'm still 25%. Scheffler seems really solid. I didn't fade answer, so I do have 10% answer. That's going to be underweight on the
But
field.
so Ricky and Kevin Na, you faded?
No, I got some Ricky. Come
You got
on,
Ricky?
I got 10% Ricky. If he burns me, I'm fine with it. I'm completely at one with him burning me. But I feel like we haven't talked about Henley.
So
Craig.
I love
One of
Henley.
your
Yeah.
picks. Henley just seems like the guy, and you talked about this in our YouTube video, our pick show. He seems like a win is on the horizon. Like it needs to come soon, or it should come
This
soon.
concerns me a bit, his really poor history at this course, but um, I I think it's only, it's such small sample sizes when you just look at how someone has played at a course. So to me, that's the type of thing, if I see good history, it's a slight plus. And like if I'm deciding between a couple guys, it's going to maybe tilt me that way. I just think his game's in a really good spot, and there's a really good chance that he, top 5, top 10.
Quickly, Mike T, I responded to that YouTube comment on our Euro. I think you hit us up on Twitter, but I got you on YouTube there.
What did Wolf say at his press conference today? I missed that.
I missed that too.
Um,
Did he say like he's having a swing meltdown or something, or he's going to a traditional swing?
so my full fade. So I guess I've got a few things up here. I've got my pick to
Wish
win
break
was Reed.
longer.
My one and done is Answer, and my fade is Cam Champ. To me, it's just a little bit. I think Cam Champ is benefiting from there not being a ton of people in that next level in this tournament, and so his odds are a little bit shorter everywhere than I think they should be.
Yeah, so my first full fade was Kevin Na. Yeah, I'm okay. So if we're hopping into the high eights here, I'm still on Cameron Champ. I only got 15%, but like it just he still it seems expensive for him, but he still has that win upside.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
when I think about it, is he much better than EVR or Cam Davis in terms of golfer profile, golfer talent? But if you pause,
Well, length is just a weapon, but So it gives
But
it
he's
gives him a
good.
ceiling, but I think that to me it's the
Yeah.
lack of a floor. And Phil Mickelson, I just think Phil's price here is ridiculous. I think we I think we both
Yeah.
feel that way. Um, yeah,
I did watch a little bit of. They had a little charity thing today, and he's entertaining as always. And I got
I mean
a
he was
couple good
second. It's
bunker
only been
tips.
2 years since he was second, but I feel like his game just is not in.
He can't hit a fairway.
Yeah, even that like yeah. I mean it's just a no for me. Casey also I faded. See, some of these guys might be good contrarian plays, but I just don't like him. So I've skipped all the way down to Sam Burns as my next play.
So I got one Casey and one Burns again. So I spread mine a little bit. I think last week I was something in like the low like 29 or 30 player pool. What did I tell you I had this week, Craig? I think I have 41.
41. You got a crazy
Um,
player pool.
so I kind of sprayed it this week, and I don't know if that's because I had a bad week last week, but
So for me, Sam Burns, Siwoo Kim, Brian Harmon, unless there's anyone else up here that people want to chat about, but these guys are all in mine. Um,
Siwoo Kim pick to win, one and done pick.
yeah, that's an
He's got the
aggressive
form.
play.
He's got the Pete Dye winning experience. He's got the course history. I'm all in on Siwoo Kim. I feel like it's gonna come back and hurt me. I am at 40% ownership though. I got my
Oh,
one
you're
and done.
committing.
I'm committing. If I throw someone in my one and done, it's serious. So I got 40% Siwoo Kim.
So just real
Come
quick,
on, man. Like
Paul
look at that.
Casey, I have love for him. I think it's a good contrarian play. I'm not there myself this week.
I like that Doug Gim cleaners reference. That's great.
uh, yeah, no, I have Siwoo Kim. I only have him at what 15%, but I like the aggressive. I like the aggressive move. You're pushing your stack in on suited connectors, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. No, it didn't really work with Morikawa Hamlin. It didn't harm that much, but that's just for other reasons. So 40%, it's heavy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it might burn me.
Brian
It might
Harmon,
burn me.
you know how much I love Brian Harmon. I can't keep this guy out of my lineup. So he is, oh no, he's not the highest. I have a little bit more. Maybe he's the highest of my low 8,000s. 25%.
Oh my! Wow. Yeah, I mean, I got 10%. I like Harmon.
I think he's just due for a top 10. He's been playing decently, but not quite breaking through. Decent course history. I think there's a lot of reasons to like him.
Adam Hadwin, complete fade for me.
Me too,
He's got
unfortunately.
crazy course history. I don't think his game's really there right now. I don't know how you feel, but
Well, we haven't
tracking our Canadians
seen
recently,
it for a while, you know. Man, he does have a
I do know
crazy
that
course history.
he lives in the desert. He doesn't like
Like in a
he didn't
home,
go
or he
home.
just lives in the desert.
Just in the desert in a hut.
Sorry, I've
But no,
been
he
watching
didn't come
Arrested
back to Canada.
Development when he just in
Yeah,
the sweat hut. Yeah, no, EVR and Zach Johnson, I have high ownership on both of them.
Yeah, so I didn't know coming into this week that I was gonna love EVR, and then I fell in love with him again, and he is actually my third highest owned guy. I said this on our YouTube picks show, but I think low eights, high sevens is what's gonna win this week.
So I do
And I think
not have. I'm pretty sure I don't have Howell in DraftKings, but I played him. So I don't do on FanDuel typically, just because I don't spend as much time over there. Um, I usually plug in. I go to Sigla entry tournaments, and I'm pretty sure I plugged him in there, just because I like the 96. It let me do some. Like, it just seemed to. Sometimes I find I don't know why I don't play FanDuel more, because it seems like I can have an easier time plugging in guys I like,
Yeah.
to my lineups. You just maybe it's because they skew, like the most expensive guys are so much more expensive on DraftKings, whereas it's a little bit more balanced around the average on FanDuel.
Yeah.
But yes, I do think he has decent course history and decent form, and so I don't mind the play.
And sorry, his DraftKings is 78.
Yeah.
He just it seems like a really good top 20, but it, I can't even remember his last win, to be honest.
Well, he doesn't win. He just cashes checks, man. Um,
I know, but
no, but I don't mind. Like I think that he has DFS value for sure. So
2018 RSM
I
Classic.
don't have him in my player pool, but I don't see any reason, or at least in my
Yeah,
DraftKings. It's just I had to make cuts, and I went so heavy on Zach Johnson and EVR that I had to make some cuts around the high sevens.
yeah. I mean, so going down, Zach Johnson, I got 15. Griot, I got 15. Almost completely different plays. Did you not get Griot
No,
again
no,
this week, or
Grio.
what's that?
Yeah, I'll probably plug him in
Great.
some showdowns.
Yeah.
Like I mean, he's value in both just his straight up strokes gained and his and the model. I just so yeah, like I've no Griot, I have no Howell, I have no Woodland, I have no Cam Davis, that's one of my stock plays.
What?
Yeah. So the other thing, I'm
So
very
wait,
heavy on Doc Redman and Joel Damon. So between EVR and Zach Johnson and those two, I just have tons of ownership. So I had to make some hard cuts in here. This is why I have
I
30 people in my pool and you have 40.
this is also why I think the high sevens is going to determine the week. I got like, so I was going to ask you what you thought of Woodland because I thought you would be kind of on that comeback train.
I don't mind the narrative. I just don't want to.
I got Keegan again. I almost wanted to bring Keegan up as a sleepers, but I feel like people would not take it well after my showdown pick.
So sorry, but you're playing Griot. You're not playing Howell. You're playing Woodland. You're playing Davis.
Yeah, and Cam Davis is in 25% of my lineups. I mean, the upside is there. If people are
Hmm.
playing Champ, I mean, why aren't you playing Cam Davis? If people are playing Matthew Wolf, why, like, I don't think the profiles are that different.
I agree. I agree, Colin. I have Straka for sure. Um, yeah, man. I had
And
to
then,
make some cuts, and I kept Chris Kirkin.
oh, see, I see it was kind of the classic price bump that I'm like, that's too much for Chris Kirk right now.
Yeah,
Mate, he got his card. Like,
yeah. And it probably is too much. It's more just if he is, maybe he just has some stupid form, like stupid variance of good form right now. And so,
sorry, Gerard. That's yeah. We kind of mentioned at the top. We've been on Twitch for a couple months, 3 months now, and just made the switch to YouTube. We're trying to figure it out. It's a little bit different, but send any questions you might have.
yeah, we have gone over the top there. Basically, both of us find there's quite a bit of spottiness in there. You were lagging there for a second, Adam, but you're good now.
My thing moved.
That's weird. Were you getting a massage? Or?
Gerard came in. No, man, my screen moved. Can you not see that on your end?
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, let me.
Oh,
Let me do some work here.
It's our first go around on YouTube, guys. Thanks for hanging in there.
Okay, you should be good there now, right?
It looks good on my screen here. It looks like YouTube is a little bit behind, so we'll see what
Yeah,
happens
looks
here. It
good.
looks good over there.
Sorry about that, guys. Okay, we're into the range where I have tons of guys here.
So,
So I think, Gerard, I think that it's a high risk. I think his ownership is going to be crazy low. I don't have any fill, but like it's just if he hits, you're definitely going to have leverage on the field because his ownership is going to be low. It's a high risk, high reward play. What's the matter, Adam?
am I still moving here?
Yeah.
Okay, my
It's just slower. It's not as compared to Twitch. It's not as quick
my
of
Skype's frozen.
response.
My Skype's frozen, but I'll F it. I'll do it live here
F it. We'll do it
on
live.
YouTube.
Okay, so did you have any other guys? You were talking Cam Davis is a heavy owned, and you faded Chris Kirk. Um,
Faded Chris Kirk. I got a little bit of Doc Redman. I feel like he's going to be very heavy owned. And then Seb Straka. I mean, he was my go-to sleeper. I got him at 35%. He's my second highest owned guy. So if anyone's going to burn me this week, it's going to be Siwoo and Seb Straka.
yeah, so if anyone's going to burn me, so I've got Redman at 25% and Damon at 30%. So you combine those with my like super heavy EVR and Zach Johnson. I definitely concentrated in a couple areas.
What happened from like Monday when we're doing sleepers until now, where you went all Joel Damon?
What do you mean? I was never off Joel Damon. Or like, why didn't I have him on our sleepers?
Yeah.
I always hate taking the guys that are like, we have our 75 cutoff. I always hate taking the guys that are like right at 75. It's just like such low hanging fruit. um, but yeah, I potentially would have. I like the guys that I had brought up still. So Joel Damon has a poor course history, but I think his form's good. Redmond, to me, he just his upside and like so in GPPs, I think he's got loads of upside. Um, yeah, and then so essentially from there, I've got tons of these guys in the low sevens, and so this is where I really have spread out ownership afterwards.
Yeah, I'm interested because I concentrated on me. Actually, I only have two guys that are over 10% here. Three guys, two at 20%. So I'd be interested to hear who your I mean, did you just spread it out equally in this range, or what kind of happened here?
Um, so just real quick, Gerard, um, we both are playing. I think everyone above 10K, and then in the 9K range, Adam we both, or no, you have a little bit of Ricky. I full faded Ricky. I full faded Sungjae and Kevin Na. Um, and then I have sprinkled across everyone else up there.
Yeah, so I mean, up top, Cantlin, Kepka, Reed for me, Wolf, Scheffler, and Henley are all at 25%. I got a ton of Siwoo at 40%, EVR at 30%, Seb Straka, I mean, at 35%. Obviously, you guys can see that I'm going heavy, heavy, heavy ball strikers here.
And Peckins, I don't know, do people call you Peck or what? I think Fleetwood turns it around here. I think we're going to start seeing good play, and I think this is actually a decent week for him to do it. I mean, he's got a good history at this course, obviously. And so the thing, I do struggle a little bit with the price with his recent form. Like, it doesn't strike me he should be above Matty Fitzpatrick, but I mean, they're same tier
Course
almost.
history, he's won
Yeah.
twice.
What do I think of the tiers contest? I don't understand it yet, and so I like to. Adam always makes fun of me, but I like to try to understand things fully before I like. What is my game theory on how I'm going to approach this? Okay, so let me just rattle off then who I played. Say from in the low sevens. I got Tringali.
Yeah, let's hop over after we go through the list here. Let's hop over to the DraftKings because I do want to talk tiers for a little bit.
Okay, so I've got Tringali, Straka, Gooch, Poston, Hoagie, Malnati, John Ha, Streelman, James Hahn, Matthew Neesmith, and Molinari all in the low 7K. So I played tons of these guys. I just think to me, this is the range where some of these guys are going to be super valuable, and I just don't know who they are yet.
That's bizarre. They also, I mean, a lot of those guys popped on the model. I saw Tringali was way up there in the model.
But you know how I like to rely on the model. He's coming off a third place.
So I got Keegan Bradley high owned. I got Malnati high owned, and I got Neesmith high owned, and some Molinari. A little bit of sprinkle of
Man, I think he is a solid play this week. His form's so good. He's got decent course history. I just can't figure out him. I can't figure him out. Like
So he frustrates you.
Well, no, it's more like I don't understand why he's playing so well when like why has he not always played this well? That's what I don't get. One of the hard cuts for me in this range was Charlie Hoffman. Um,
Yeah, I got a little bit of the Hoff. I got 10% Hoff.
yeah,
Desert
he has a
guy.
really like up and down course history, and his form's decent, so I like it. It's just I couldn't play everyone in this range. Tringodly for
I I,
sure.
I always think of Ronnie Moss. Tringali.
You can't jump with me, Tringali.
Golly.
Taylor Gooch, I think, has got tons of upside. So Straka, same thing. Tringali, I think, is a little bit more safe, but still has upside. Um, Hoagie, I don't love he. I almost ended up fading him. I think he's super volatile with upside. Malnati is 25% owned for me. I'm planting my flag there this week.
You are.
Um,
Respect.
And then yeah, pretty much just sprinkled like 10% ish, except for Molinari. Then I have 20% on him as well. I'm buying your argument that it's we're gonna start seeing the bounce back here this week.
I don't know if I made that argument. I think he's a good
Upside
I
potential.
think he's a good dart
Yeah,
throw.
yeah.
I think if you play Molinari, uh, you have to be prepared to miss a cut for sure. I mean, anyone down here, you're happy with miss cut. If we're getting top 20, top 10,
You're not
then we're
happy with
profiting.
miscut.
No, made
Yeah,
cut,
yeah.
sorry.
So anyone else there?
What about Benny Ann?
No,
Did he get there?
no.
I feel like you went all putters this week and I went all ball strikers.
Which is usually I'm all over the ball strikers.
I know.
So yeah, I've loaded up in this range, and that's gonna really make or break is whether those guys hit. And then
Do you want to
I don't have tons down below that.
do you want to talk sixes here?
Yeah. So Danny McCarthy,
So
obviously, I brought him up in the YouTube show. I still just think he's got
cut him.
upside.
He didn't make it for me. He can putt too well, so he's obviously out of my lineups.
Uh, Doug Gim, who is it? Is it PY?
Yeah. Steeler PY.
Yeah, so Gim, I was off of him last week. I'm back on him this week. I think the short game and approach, that's the other thing that popped in the model. And obviously his approach game has been awesome this year. Someone had
I
mentioned
kind of
Kramer
wish I got more
Hickok.
game.
I don't have him. His form is decent. I just think yeah, to me, it's not like it's not enough of a tipping point that the guys that I have I'm not gonna cut them for him.
I wish I had more Gim because he burned a lot of people last night. He was kind of like the sexy play
So
under.
the potential
Where was he?
reactionary.
He was 69. Yeah, people got burned, so they're not complaining. But I only got 5%. Austin Cook, I went back to.
Me too.
He was actually, I believe, he was 8th in the model, I think.
Yeah, good putter.
And then down here, I got a little bit of Harry Hall. I got a ton of Akshay Patia, and I got some Shoyoung Tom Kim at 63.
So you didn't go Augenstein. What is it, Augenstein?
No, John Augenstein.
So I did not go to Harry Hall,
He's
but I
at
like
60.
him. I think he's number one on birdies on the Corn Ferry Tour. Birdie rate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was a hard one that I looked at for a while. Same with Ventura. It's always these young guys that you think have like so much potential, and like whether or not you want to take them this week. That's what I struggle with because like yes I don't love Kramer Hickok. I think it's a decent play, but I don't have him myself. He was the one who was Bermuda was competition or competitive there. His form is good. And his approach is good, but maybe it's the putter that's scaring me off.
I think he also beat Batia in like the round of 16. at the USM because he came second at the USM.
A couple years ago,
Was that 2018?
2019 maybe. Um,
Um,
oh, maybe
yeah,
Colin Morikawa. Oh, Augenstein beat Morikawa.
Because I was going to talk about it in our preview show.
Actually, Batia, though, to me, it's a pure upside play. I have 15%, so I have month 3 tickets.
I might have to divert. 25 seems high. I might have to divert
That's
a
a
little
risky
bit of
play to
that.
have 25 there. And then I didn't get Tom Young Kim, or what is it? Ju Young Kim? Tom Kim, I think I'll just start calling him. But I like the play. I think there's tons of potential there in terms of future. It's just going to be
Upside. Yeah. The thing I like about Batia, besides those guys, is like he's tasted that top 10 on the PGA, and I feel like it's like maybe like a made cut, it's hard to break through. A top 25, it's hard to break through. A top 10, it's hard to break through. And then the win is hard to break through. And he's already got that top 10, so he knows what it's like.
Well, the thing for me with him too is that we've seen him play well, which like a lot of these young guys, you've seen them play well at the lower levels, but then you're like, oh, we haven't seen them play well though at this level yet. Whereas we have seen him play well. We just need to see him, tighten up the mistakes and those type of things. And so, yeah, I think that makes for a huge amount of potential in DFS. So that's everyone for me. That's my whole pool. I don't know if we want to flip over to FanDuel or...
Who is your sleeper on our pick sheet?
Molinari, 100 to 1.
Wow.
Man, I don't know why you don't like Molinari very much.
I love him, man. I don't know what you want me to say. It's just like... It's hard. Like, I'm playing Molinari. I'm playing Gary Woodland. Yeah, I like.
You bet. You think 20%? See, I don't find 20% on him to be too risky compared to like a 20% on Batia, just because I feel like
no, it isn't.
It's like, I mean, he could win this tournament if he's in contention on a Sunday. I don't think he's gonna be like, oh my goodness, like I'm in contention. He'll be like, oh yeah, like finally I'm playing good golf again, Yeah.
Should we pop over to DraftKings tiers?
Yeah, no one, I'm assuming, or we probably missed the lock now. Oh, we've got, 42 minutes till the lock. But
for Euro Tour.
Euro, yeah.
Yeah, I was an hour early there. I thought it was 7:20 my time.
I just find this tiers thing to be so hard to figure out.
So with tiers, it's like I take my player pool and I look at the tiers. I think when you look at tiers, I also see in that tier there's someone that's normally priced 9,000 and they're grouped with 8,000 people.
But see, that's where it's the game theory aspect of is everyone just going to load up on Brooks because he's the most expensive player here, So then maybe I take a chance.
Go to 3. Sorry, I'm behind. I'm watching the YouTube as well, so.
So like 3 has Henley, Na, Answer, Sungjae Im, and Sam Burns. So like I feel like Sungjae's going to attract a lot. Sam.
No, I think Answer is. Everyone seems to be on Answer.
But everyone's on Answer at what, 9,100, whereas Sungjae is 99.
See, so I usually put in 1 tiers a week, and it's been pretty good for me. I'm going Henley here. I don't know. It seems to me the obvious kind of pivot and upside play.
Yeah, I think it just like this is where I don't quite know how to best approach these. Like, do you take chalky ones through these mid tiers and then try to find people who you think are like total pivots, or do you take, like say you like Doc Redman the most in this? Do you take him and then look for, take Sam Burns in this range? I don't quite know that yet because it just seems to be, yeah. And see, that's the other thing that I struggle with a bit is that like our lowest guy here is what, maybe Sepp Straka, 74.
Right.
So it's just totally different. I think it probably is more accessible for some people if they like haven't played PGA DFS and like they don't know a lot of these guys that are down lower than this, so they can figure out someone to play from this list of what 8 guys as opposed to from the list of 140 guys trying to figure out who they want to play.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I also feel like I'm going to contradict myself right away here, but it's interesting when you compare salaries and then you just like take a step back and then compare players. So, for instance, on the Euro Tour, um, I was looking at my main lineup and I had Rose, who's going off in the afternoon, and I had Robbie Mack, $300 less. And I like both plays, but I think I like Robbie Mack more, but am I trying to cram in Rose because he's higher price? So I pivoted to Robbie Mack.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like not only does that give me less chance of being duplicated, but I think if I just took a step back from salaries and looked at them equally, I would like Robert Mack. But for some reason,
But that's what I think. Like, I don't know. Maybe you just go and you put it in a tiers before you even look at the salaries, and so you're not influenced by it at all. And you're like, I remember when we first did fantasy golf, it was much more this type of thing.
Oh, like back in the like clubhouse days
Yeah,
when we picked like
just for the
paper
majors.
and
Yeah,
pen.
we do it with paper and pen, and everyone would put in their ticket. And
Yeah, those are the days.
so then, Colts
Three
fan, have you
chalk.
found that like when you do the all chalk, say, is it is there a lot of people that have similar lineups, or is it still, a fairly small pool? Because that's what I can't quite figure out yet. Like I feel like for the size of contests I typically do for GPPs, I don't need to be crazy low ownership guys to be unique. Whereas or like leave a ton of salary on the table. Whereas if you're playing in huge like major weekend, hundreds of thousands of entry uh, contests, then yeah, you do have to look at really diversifying yourself because it's so heavily skewed, and you don't want to be you do want that unique lineup. But so whether there's a couple that I'll use, Windfinder, which does like I think it's
Do you
most.
still have that Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, it's not Windfinder though. I don't know which one. This is Wind Alert.
I think it might be. There's Windfinder, there's Wind Alert, there's Windy. I look at the one that's
So
I'll type like whatever.
I think Windfinder is the best for wind, but then AccuWeather and Weather Underground I think also do a really good job of like Weather Underground is the one that I used to always do if I was just looking at the weather in Vancouver when I lived there, because it seemed to be good at taking a bunch of different stations and then like almost like averaging them out for, like
Got
it
it.
would take the airport one and the university one and the other one and then like give you like an idea of if you're just generally in the city somewhere what you should be expecting. um,
Yeah, I mean that's exactly you. Whenever you look at weather, I feel like people can get trapped into where it's going to be.
and thinking that it's
Um,
exact, whereas like so say something like this that we see for Abu Dhabi, like to me this just means at some point on Thursday it's going to be increasing. And so yeah, I don't think it's going to be predictable enough that it's happening exactly from 9 to 1, but at some point there it's probably going to deflect upwards. And so um,
well, and you have to see where it is, right? So I always look at where the course is in relation. I've only been a couple times, but Chicago, O'Hare's in
sorry,
like the
just real quick, Adam.
northwest, right?
Kicks, I'm pretty sure they're playing Stadium and Nicholas, alternating for Thursday, Friday, and then both weekend
On
rounds are
Stadium.
on Stadium. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, historically, Stadium's been the hardest one. I'm playing a showdown tomorrow. I'll probably get majority Nicholas. Two times around PGA.com.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, like, if you look at Chicago and you have O'Hare and you have Soldier Field, if you get the weather in O'Hare, I mean, uh, PY can probably fill us in, but they're probably 30, 40 miles apart. Right. So, like,
I don't know. I just know that it's windy in Chicago. That's about the extent of my. You've been to Chicago, right?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a big distance.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
can't just look at.
Okay, well, I think I've got a dog that's in a crate that I would like to let out. So I think unless there's any other questions, yeah, big Colts fan. I am a big fan of going down to the small stakes games to try to figure out how to do something because first off, I'm super cheap with my money and I don't want to I don't want to throw any of
Yeah.
it away. Um, but uh, yeah, I still haven't figured out the tiers thing, and so I think that's partly the reason why we haven't chatted about it much on here is because we're still in the process of trying to figure out how we
Yeah.
play it. Um,
Yeah. Off the lake. Sorry. That's kind of what I meant as well.
yeah, thanks, Colin. Good luck in Baltimore too. Sorry for that. I don't know if you're a Ravens fan, but sorry for that loss. I have to say though, Bills are the team I want to see go all the way this year.
Kicks, I might, but I feel like a lot of people will do that. They'll go all Nicholas, so I might go 5-1. I might go 4-2, depending on the
I'm gonna
who I like.
watch
I haven't
tomorrow
looked at.
closely as to what I'm gonna do for Friday. That
Oh yeah, we'll have a video for round two, and then hammer, 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 whatever.
yeah,
And Kevin for best show on YouTube. Keep up the passion.
we're trying our best. Okay, let's wrap her up.
Yeah, thanks guys for joining us. Good luck this week. We will see you in our showdown videos and next week
And
for sure.
we are chatting about this potentially. We might be doing showdown videos live and essentially just doing the spiel that we usually do, and then doing a few questions, like just chatting about it generally at the end. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let us know, and we'll potentially make that happen this week.
Yeah.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, see you guys.